I am David Mullings. Thank you very much for having me as a keynote speaker for the Young Entrepreneurs Association of Jamaica kickoff for Global Entrepreneurship Week. I apologize for not being able to be there in person today, but I think that is important that I still share some words of wisdom as I've been asked. For me, it's really important that I keep giving it back to other entrepreneurs and pay it forward. I've been on a journey and I will continue to be on a journey. But I've learned that it's very important to share now and not wait until you have some specific net worth number or some unbelievable success. We all have lessons that we can pass on to our fellow entrepreneurs while we are on that journey. And so today, I'm going to pass on some lessons to you. What I feel is important before we start, though, is to keep in mind the story that I was told in college. I minored in religion. So one of my minors in undergrad. And in Asian religions, my teacher talked about an American scholar, a Buddhist scholar who went to Tibet to go and meet with a Buddhist monk because they want to learn from that monk. And they sit down together to have tea. The Americans start talking about everything that they know about Buddhism. And so the monk looks at him and then starts to pour tea into the gentleman's teacup. He does not stop pouring when it fills up. It goes over the brim and it keeps spilling. And the American stops. Why you keep pouring? Can't you see that it's full? It's overflowing. What's wrong with you? And so the Buddhist monk stops, puts down a teapot, and says, that is like you right now. You are telling me everything you know about Buddhism, but you are here to learn from me. I cannot pour anything more into a cup that's already full. You must empty your cup if you want to learn. So what I'm going to ask right now, if that you're in this audience or you're watching this video, pour out your cup so that I can pour into you. So let's get into this. I want to talk about resilience, stick-to-itiveness, perseverance. Pick whatever term you want to pick, but it's important that you actually push through frustration as an entrepreneur. Too many of us are going to face air pockets, potholes, and of course, roadblocks. And then people around us encourage us to give up. You cannot give up if you believe in the problem you want to solve, if you know your why. But before we get into how you can build that perseverance, I want to go through a few things. And I'm going to start with something that I think is important for us, especially in this day and age. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to tell you that they can show you how to get rich, how to create wealth, how to have the finer things in life, especially on social media. They'll be posting all these things. And so let's get to the presentation. This presentation is one that I've done many times, and I've done it with my brother, and it's called Overnight Success. How to achieve your goals in 15 years or less, right? And Jeff Bezos says that almost all overnight successes take 10 years. Almost all overnight successes take 10 years. So let's keep in mind some very simple things going forward. Who you take advice from. So the outline I want to go through is number one, mindset. We need to have the right mindset to build resilience. We need to have a clarity of purpose. You need to have a decision-making matrix to understand opportunities. I will share mine. You need to make a plan. You need to have the right people on the bus. You need to be able to attract capital. And I might get into some of my mistakes. Of course, the questions you'll have to send separate. This is a very important quote for me. It's something that I remind myself a lot because I get frustrated. I have a timeline I want to meet. But patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. Of course, you're not just waiting to do nothing. You're not sitting hands. You're moving the ball forward. But it is really important that you have patience. Anybody who is a parent understands what patience looks like. So let's get into this now. Check out these nicer things, right? This is my brother and I in a very nice convertible Lamborghini Gallardo, 200,000 plus US dollar car. This is a nice Rolex Datejust, 10,000, 14,000 on a watch, and obviously a very nice house. And you're going to meet many people who say, hey, do you want to be able to afford these things? Choose to spend the money on something else, buy a different car, or donate the money to whatever charity you want, or spend it on a trip. But you have the ability to buy these things, enjoy these things. Well, here's what. Let's walk through it. You know me, I'm very transparent. So, number one, that car, it costs us $55 to rent it for 3 laps in a parking lot in Broward County, Florida. We could not drive the car faster than 35 miles per hour, and they took pictures for us in there. That's it. So I'm not going to pretend that I have that car. And this one with the Rolex, this was a company called 11 James in the United States. They would rent you watches for 3 months. You'd sign a 1-year membership deal. So it's a watch club, send you a different watch every 3 months. And it was about $650 a month. The hedge fund I used to work for paid for the membership. And so I had the watch. It was not my watch, and I wasn't even paying for it. Lastly, this was an open house in one of the wealthiest communities in Orlando. And we just went to the open house and took pictures. So here's what is important. Some people are not what they post to be. Ignore what is on social media. It is too easy to fake it till you make it. So just because somebody says they have this stuff and post with that stuff and flaunt and flash it, does not mean they actually own these things. It does not mean they've been the wealth. They might be deep in debt. Stop watching social media. Focus on learning and going forward. Look for people who are actually building systems and processes and solving problems. All right. So now, how do you get into the right mindset to persevere? Well, I think that is 4 key things. Number one, you have to embrace calculated risk. You will always have risk. You get in the car and you drive on the road, you are taking a risk, but you have embraced a calculated risk because of where you're going and what you expect to get out of it. So embrace calculated risk. There's no such thing as zero risk. There's always some risk. Understand that risk first. Understand the potential outcome. The second one is that you have to have a new relationship with money. The majority of people are not in the 1%. They're in the 99%. The 99% tend to think differently about money. They think money is scarce, so they have a scarcity mindset. They don't think that they deserve to get it. They don't like rich people. Guess what? If you don't like money and the things money can get you, you will never attract money. You will repel it. You have to think that money grows on trees. Think about it this way. Would you get arrested for stealing a mango off somebody's tree? The answer is yes. It must be valuable then for them to arrest you for it. And that grows on a tree. I can sell the mango. If I want to have more mangoes, I can plant the mango seed, tend to that tree. Right? That little seed then is going to grow. It doesn't bear all of a sudden. But over time, a few years, it becomes a tree and it starts to bear. Do you cut down the tree? No. You're going to pick the mangoes, you'll plant a few, and you'll sell some and earn some money. Over 10 years, you will now have a mango grove. That is how investing works. You're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business. Think about the long-term approach. You are planting seeds. It's as simple as farming. And money will grow on trees. Right? So it is abundant. Let me go and find it. Who has it? How can I get some? And how you get some is by being of value to them. Provide value to people. Don't go and beg them for money. Offer to be of value to people with money, right? These are your customers. You're being valuable to them by solving a problem for them. Number 3, I really believe in a cash flow quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a very famous book. Some of us would have read it. I think he skipped his second book, Cash Flow Quadrant. I have some issues with Robert's story, but ultimately Cash Flow Quadrant makes a lot of sense. If you think of a plus sign, on one side you have E for employee and S for self-employed. Then on the right side we have B for business owner and I for investor. Well, most of us in school are taught, and our parents are telling us, go to school, get good grades, get a good job. Don't mess it up. They want us to be an employee. Maybe we should go to school and become a lawyer or a doctor. You open your own practice. You're a dentist. You become S, self-employed. Great. You're doing well. But if you are the dentist working in the office and you take a vacation, your paycheck takes a vacation. The people who are able to donate to whatever they want, travel how they want, have time, live where they want, usually on the other side, the B's and the I's, the business owners and the investors. You here in the room want exactly that. You're doing it for freedom. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom the money is going to bring you. Freedom to support the projects you want to support. Freedom to support the people you want to support. Freedom to support the lifestyle you want. B and I, you need to find a way to be a business owner and an investor. And then lastly, find a role model, get the recipe, don't change the recipe. We instinctively know if you want to become a high-paid lawyer at a big law firm, we go and talk to a high-paid lawyer at a big law firm and understand what they did. And then we can follow that. Oh, I need to, before they got there, they were at a smaller law firm. Before they got there, they had to pass the bar. Before they got there, they went to law school. Before they got there, they had to get into college. Before they did that, they probably studied history at CXC. We have a clear plan that we can follow. There's a recipe. It works the same way in business. You are not doing anything that has not been tried somewhere else. There are systems and processes that are proven and work for every single business at every scale. Micro, small, medium, large. Find out what they did elsewhere. Adapt what can work in your market. There is somebody somewhere who has tried what you did. They may have failed. You get to learn more from failure. Some of them will have succeeded. How did they raise money? How did they market to their customers? How did they do PR? What systems and processes did they put in place to train their staff to scale? It exists. You don't have to do this by the seat of your pants. If you were going to go and become a doctor, you'd have to study and pass an exam. If you want to go and be a successful business owner, why are you not studying? When was the last time you read a business book? I ask that of entrepreneurs all the time. When was the last time you read a business book? You need to be seeking knowledge, be a lifelong learner. This one is important for me. Whatever you think you can or think you can't, you're right. What you tell yourself is what you can achieve, right? You have to believe it to achieve it. So it's important that you surround yourself with people who are telling you you can do it. Not people who are saying, why you think you can do that? No, you can't do that. You should give up. The 5 people you spend the most time with are going to determine how high you get in life. It's as simple as that. Now, number 2, clarity of purpose. Too many people get into business just because they want to make money. And when the money doesn't come as quickly as they think it should come, because it never does, they give up and start over and go and do something else. It has to be about more than just money. Money is not enough of a good reason to get you to persevere. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. This is Simon Sinek. Very important book, Find Your Why. I have raised more than $2.5 million US to date in my life because people love why I was doing the thing. What is the problem I want to solve? Why do I want to solve that problem so much? When your why is known, that passion comes out when you're presenting, when you're talking to somebody. It could even be an elevator. And they say, that's infectious, it's contagious. They feel it. They know that you're doing it for more than just money, and they like that. Find your why. Now, this is my decision matrix. When somebody brings an opportunity to me, I decided that I can only focus on no more than 5 on the personal side, 5 on the business side. And for me, it starts with ranking everything low, medium, or high. So I'm going to create a little spreadsheet. Here's opportunity 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to rank them in these columns, low, medium, and high. So we're going clockwise. How much effort and time is required from me for this business to be successful? Low, medium, or high? What's the potential payoff of this business? Low, medium, or high? What is the enjoyment that I get working with these people and working on this project? And then what is the risk? Low, medium, or high? Ultimately, I need to ask a final question as well. How much capital is actually required from me to make this work? And so I'm looking for things that have low effort and time or medium effort and time. I want high potential payoff. I want high enjoyment. If I'm not going to enjoy what I'm working on, I'm not going to do it. If I'm not going to enjoy who I'm working with, I am not going to do it. And of course, I want low risk. I don't need to take medium risk or high risk. So those are the things I use for my decision-making framework when it comes to a business. And I can't look at more than 5 at any one time to help somebody or invest in it. In most cases, people are only working on one. You need to look at that. You're always going to have new opportunities coming at you, especially when people perceive you as successful. They're going to want to bring more opportunities for you to invest in or to partner. You should not jump at everything. You should not say yes to everything. You stretch yourself thin. You stretch your time too thin. You stretch your capital too thin. Focus. So if you have 5 or 4 locked in and a new one comes, you're going to measure it against the existing ones. And then if it's better than one of the 4 or 5, replace. Don't add, replace. Do that in your personal life as well. Don't take on too many projects. Don't take on too many volunteer positions, too many board positions. Replace. Don't grow it. Number 3 is make a plan. You cannot be resilient if you don't have a plan. Right? Sir Winston Churchill says, he who fails to plan is planning to fail. If you have no plan, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year plan, I do 15 years. If you don't have a plan, you don't know if you're on course. The shortest distance between A and B is not a straight line if you're sailing. You have to tack with the wind. You have to go with the wind to get there. You're going to play football, you can't dribble straight to the goal. In fact, you have to pass the ball to some other people. You need help. So you're building a ship to go and sail. That's what it is when you're being an entrepreneur. You're building a ship, and then you're going to sail, and you're trying to get to that destination. First of all, you need X marks the spot. You need to know where you're sailing to. And you need a plan. Who do you need on this boat to help you sail? Most people don't plan, and that's why they just blow wherever the winds of life take them. Make a plan. You can update the plan, but make a plan. Michael Leachin said to me that if you don't know where you're going, you'll get there. Right? If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it with perfect precision. So focus. Of course, the right people. You need to get the right people on the bus. This is what is said in built to last and good to great. So important. Get the right people on the bus. And of course, get the wrong people off the bus. The right people on the bus in your personal life, the right people on the bus in your business. Figure out what the right people look like. What are the roles and responsibilities they need? What are the attitudes that they have to bring? Not just aptitude. Attitude that will help you be resilient and help you deal with all the challenges that are going to come on the journey, because there will be challenges. Right? Get the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats. Don't worry as much about getting them in the right seats from day one. If they have the right attitude, get them on the bus, figure out where they can provide strength. And they don't have to be full-time. They can consult with you first to start, and you can feel out if they're a good fit for the culture and to see what their delivery is, and it's easier that way. You can go fractional and get a few hours from them before you bring them in full-time. But get the right people on the bus. You need a team to help you to scale. Do not try and be head cook and bottle washer. Hire people smarter than you. Of course, attracting capital. We all care about that, and we need it for resilience. COVID taught us that one. You want some capital. So guess what? Guy Kawasaki, who wrote Art of the Start and Enchantment, says skillful pitching is a necessary but not sufficient part of raising capital. And that is important. You need to know how to pitch. That means you have to work on your public speaking, the arms. You need to work on that. It matters. Do you want to be in the top 1% or you want to be average like everybody else? Work on the things that matter. Know your numbers. People care about that. And of course, you need to think about good debt versus bad debt. You want to be getting good debt. You want to use OPM, other people's money is either debt, right? Money you've borrowed, money that you've raised in equity, or money you've earned from your customers that you have prudently managed. So focus on attracting capital, whether it's going to be from the customers, you're attracting customers and then getting capital from them to grow the business by managing it prudently. You're borrowing some money, but you're getting good debt because you're reinvesting in the business to grow at higher than the rate that you're borrowing at. or you raise equity capital. You sell a piece of the business to someone else, and it has to be a smart investor, smart money. They're not just there for a return. They want to help you grow the business in some way. Advice or opening doors. Of course, everybody makes mistakes, and I will not pretend to be the genius who has never made a mistake. You actually learn more from failure than from success. So this is the approach I take, though. Right? Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, and he says, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that will work." I won't say that we should fail 10,000 times. That's different. But if you think about the can WD-40, right? That can is so important. It has a meaning. It stands for water displacement 40th formula. He failed 39 times. How many of us would have friends or family members or a spouse around us who would let us fail 39 times and cheer us on anyway and say, "You got this"? Very few of us. But every time you're facing that trial and tribulation, you should stop and look at a can of WD-40 and ask yourself, have you failed 39 times as yet? If you have not, keep pushing forward. If you have people around you who don't want you to continue to try, remove them from your life. I don't care who it is. That is not a good energy. You need good energy around you who's going to help you to be resilient. 40 times. Right? You probably don't even need 10 times to make this work. Go back and look at what did I learn from this last mistake. Well, you know what is the smartest thing? Learn from the mistakes of others. That's where mentors come in. You go and read about other people. You learn their journey. They're now a mentor. Then you want a teacher. You can learn from that person. And then you want a coach, preferably a business coach, who you can talk to and bounce more ideas off, strategic ideas. Then you want a sponsor, someone who can open doors for you and say, "Hey, put them on, do business with them, open this door, make that investment." You want to go from mentor to teacher to coach to sponsor. That is how you're going to build a resilient mindset. So I want to close with this one. It's, for me, it's the most important poem that I've ever read in my entire life. And it's actually from the Apple ad, a very famous Apple ad. I love the one where Steve Jobs' voice does it instead of Richard Dreyfuss. And it says, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, and the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius because the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do." Every one of you watching this video right now is a misfit, is a crazy one, and you are going to change the world. Thank you very much. All the best. Big up the entrepreneurs, because that's how this works. We are the ones who change the world. Thank you very much. I'm David Mullings and really appreciate this.